spread over weeks.
Commentary accounts begin breaking down timelines. And suddenly, what started as a single viral claim turns into a full-scale narrative war online. Some users are convinced this is the beginning of something much bigger, pointing back to years of rumors, past controversies, and financial speculation surrounding Kim Kardashian's empire. Others are calling it exactly what it looks like. Another example of how fast misinformation can explode when a famous name is attached. But in the middle of all this noise, one question keeps coming back louder than everything else. How did a simple rumor turn into a global trending event in under an hour? And why does it feel like everyone is reacting to something they've only seen through reposts and edits, not actual verified facts? Because now, this isn't just about one celebrity anymore. It's about how quickly a narrative can form, spread, and take on a life of its own, especially when it involves one of the most recognized names in modern pop culture. And as the internet continues to spiral between belief and doubt, one thing is certain: whether this story is real, exaggerated, or completely misunderstood, it has already captured attention at a scale that can't be ignored. To understand why a headline like "FBI raids Kim Kardashian mansion" spreads so fast, you first have to understand the environment it's being born into, a digital space where speed matters more than verification, and emotion often travels faster than fact. In today's internet culture, major celebrity names don't just trend because of what actually happens. They trend because of how easily their image can be reshaped in real time by edits, reposts, and interpretation-driven storytelling. And few public figures sit at the center of that system more than Kim Kardashian. Over the years, Kim has built one of the most visible personal brands in the world, spanning television, beauty, fashion, law studies, and business ventures. That level of visibility means every public appearance, every business update, and every past controversy is constantly under public analysis, whether fair or not. At the same time, internet culture has changed the way stories evolve. A single clip can be taken out of context, re-edited with dramatic music, and repackaged as breaking news within minutes. Once that happens, the original meaning often becomes secondary to the emotional impact of the content itself. That's where the current situation begins to make sense. Because the moment a high-impact phrase like "FBI raid" enters the conversation, even without confirmation, it immediately triggers curiosity, suspicion, and speculation. It activates a familiar pattern audiences have seen in real-world cases involving legal investigations and celebrity controversies. But in this case, there is a critical difference. No verified documentation supports the claim being circulated online. Instead, what exists is a chain reaction of reposted content, commentary videos, and speculative interpretations that begin feeding into each other. As the narrative grows, older unrelated topics also start getting pulled into the same space. Past business discussions, financial headlines, and even completely separate controversies are reintroduced and reframed as if they are connected. This is how modern viral storytelling works. Not through one single event, but through accumulation. And once accumulation begins, context starts to blur. A comment section can turn into a timeline analysis. A reaction video can turn into evidence breakdown. Viral compilation video began circulating, stitched together from unrelated clips. Kim Kardashian discussing business branding, law-related interview moments, paparazzi footage commentary, voiceovers suggesting hidden meaning. The video gave the illusion of structure, as if it was revealing a timeline of events. But in reality, it was a rearrangement of unrelated material designed to feel like continuity. And it worked. Within hours, that compilation became one of footage. A past statement would be reframed as hidden confirmation. Even silence itself was interpreted by some as meaningful. And that's when the narrative crossed a new threshold. It was no longer about what was said. It was about what people believed was being said. And that belief, once shared across enough platforms, became its own version of reality in the eyes of the audience. At this stage, the conversation around the alleged FBI raid involving Kim Kardashian had already drifted far away from anything resembling a single viral post. It had evolved into something more unstable, a constantly shifting network of interpretations, edits, and recycled clips that were being treated as if they formed a connected storyline. And that's exactly when the escalation phase began. Because instead of fading out like most rumors eventually do, this one intensified. More compilation videos appeared across platforms, each claiming to explain what's really going on. These videos didn't introduce new verified information. Instead, they reassembled old interviews, business clips, and unrelated media moments into new emotional narratives. At the same time, older public discussions involving Kim Kardashian's business empire, media presence, and past controversies were pulled back into circulation. Not because they were directly related, but because audiences were actively searching for context that could justify the viral claim. This is where the second twist formed. The narrative stopped being about a specific alleged event and started becoming about a perceived pattern. Once that shift happened, everything changed. A normal interview clip could now be labeled as evidence of awareness. A business announcement could be framed as timing-related suspicion. Even unrelated paparazzi footage was being reinterpreted through the lens of the ongoing rumor. None of this was based on confirmed reporting, but the framing made it feel connected anyway. Meanwhile, commentary creators began escalating the tone further. Some suggested that the situation was part of a much larger financial scrutiny narrative, while others used dramatic storytelling techniques to imply that past events were suddenly being reinterpreted in real time. The phrase FBI investigation was repeated across multiple versions of the story, not because it had been confirmed, but because it carried emotional weight and instantly increased engagement. And that emotional weight began shaping audience perception. As the narrative spread, people began treating repetition itself as reinforcement. If enough videos said the same thing, it started to feel like confirmation, even without any official source. This is where the most important distortion occurred. The internet was no longer reacting to facts, it was reacting to volume, and volume creates the illusion of legitimacy. At the same time, discussions about Kim Kardashian became increasingly fragmented. Some users insisted that the sheer number of posts meant there had to be something developing behind the scenes, while others argued that this was a textbook case of viral misinformation amplified by algorithmic recommendation systems. Neither group had access to verified updates, but both groups were deeply engaged, and engagement is what drives escalation. As this cycle continued, a new wave of reveal-style content began circulating. These videos claimed to connect multiple unrelated topics, past financial headlines, business partnerships, and celebrity controversies, into a single overarching narrative. The structure was always the same: present an old clip, add dramatic narration, suggest hidden meaning, link it to the current rumor, end with a cliffhanger statement. This formula created a powerful illusion of discovery, but what it was actually doing was reconstructing meaning after the fact. Then came the moment that pushed the story into its most chaotic phase yet. A highly edited montage went viral, combining Kim Kardashian discussing her brand empire, legal-themed commentary clips, random paparazzi footage, dramatic sound design, and subtitles implying investigation context. The montage didn't include any verified reference to a raid, investigation, or legal action. But it didn't need to, because it looked like a narrative. And narratives are what people respond to. Once this video spread widely, it began to reshape how new viewers understood the entire situation. People entering the conversation for the first time weren't seeing the original claim. They were seeing the edited interpretation of it. And that interpretation became the default version of the story. From there, the confusion deepened further. Old interviews were now being reposted as possible responses. Neutral influence, arguing that viral rumors often attach themselves to high-profile figures without evidence. Critics, however, focus on the nature of internet virality itself. More to shape public belief? So here we are. And the conversation around Kim Kardashian talking about it.